My name is David Elo. This time out with David Elo, a program on BHF Movie YouTube. BHF Movie is an arm of BHF Foundation. And BHF Foundation is an NGO that is set up to handle the issues of drugs, cult, sexual immorality, and also cybercrime. So it's actually a youth organization. And the intentions of setting up such organizations is to see how to handle the issues of the youth globally, because there's so much youth restiveness now around the world. And sadly enough, the youth seems not to have enough parental care because of the economic pressure of what is going on around the world now. We find that parents don't have enough time to counsel their children, to talk to them, and to advise them on what is right and what is wrong. And in most cases, it's even some of the parents that are also contributing in destroying the children. I mean, we've heard of situations where parents buy laptop for their children that are involved in fraud, Yahoo. For those who are not in Nigeria, Yahoo is just an internet fraud. So it's amazing when you see a situation where it's even the parents right now that will contribute money to buy laptop to encourage their children to get involved in internet fraud. The reason is because people just want to make money anyhow. They don't care the means. As far as they are concerned, they believe the end justifies the means. And to a large extent, you won't blame them because we see what is happening with the governments across the world, especially in Africa, where fraud and deception is the order of the game. Politicians are not willing to fulfill their promise. When people get elected, the reason why most of them get elected, or the reason why they go for election, it's not to help the citizens. It's not to add value to their life, not at all. They go there because they want to be part of sharing the national cake, as is the slogan used in Nigeria. So fulfilling of campaign promises means nothing to them. What is more important to them is access to the treasury. Access to the treasury. And one of the strategies which they've always been using, especially in the Nigerian situation, is tribalism. The politicians campaign on tribal sentiment. And with a country like Nigeria that is divided along religious line and along ethnic and tribal lines, the politicians in Nigeria find it very easy to continue to maintain a stronghold over the ignorant multitude. Like I've always told them, there's no difference between, it's the same market. In Nigeria, for example, it's the same market. Whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Hindu, you attend the same market. You go to the market to buy goods. And when you get to the market to buy goods, nobody asks you whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, or a pagan. So it's a terrible situation. And so it's just, and the truth is that Nigeria will not come out of the quagmire they find themselves until the citizens are fully educated. That the president comes from your tribe is not a guarantee that people from your tribe will do well. No. Because in most cases, what they do is they take care of their friends and their cronies. So we should be interested in Africa to see that we put people of character in offices. In the Nigerian situation, there are a lot of things to get involved with. Now there seems to be a battle for the next election in Nigeria, which is about 2 years from now, if I'm not mistaken. But the only advice I would just give is the politicians should insist that we have electoral reforms, because it doesn't matter your preparation for the election. We have seen in Nigeria that the vote of the people don't count. It is those that count the vote that count. The vote of the people don't actually count. It is basically those who count the vote that count. So we find a situation right now where what people vote for, most times, is not what they see. And before you know what is happening, the judiciary go ahead quickly to proclaim them as governors, as presidents, Then you begin to go to court. When somebody is already proclaimed as president, who is in charge of the courts? The Nigerian situation is the president that decides who is the chief judge, the president decides who does this, who does that. He controls the judicial system. The president controls the police system. So it's once the reforms are not done, once they've announced who the president is, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what has been going on in Nigeria for a very, very long time. It doesn't matter who rigged the election. The only thing the politicians do is to rig the election and use the judiciary to confirm it, to put a seal on it. So they rig the election, then they use the judiciary to put a seal on the election that they rigged. And there's nothing you can do about it. We've seen a situation where even presidential candidates were arrested and they even died, like the case of MK Abiola. Everybody knows he won the election. But because we have a sitting head of state that controls the police and the army and the rest, he was arrested and even died in prison. So we need to have electoral reforms. The elections are coming. The elections is 2 years from now. My own advice, until we have a stable, a transparent electoral reforms, there's no point for another election. Because every sitting head of state, every sitting president, every sitting governor will always rig the election because they have the apparatus to do so. They control the police, they control the army. They control whoever is in charge. I mean, a situation where the president himself is the one that decides who is the chairman of INEC. He appoints the INEC commissioners. He appoints basically all these things. So how will he lose? The electoral empires are people that are in his payroll. So if we want to get true democracy in Nigeria, in Africa, we must find a way to get our electoral system to work well. We can't depend on the judiciary to give a good verdict. We have seen it again and again. We can't depend on it. I mean, to date now, I think President Goodluck Jonathan seems to be the only president who have considered election to the opposition where he was sitting as the head of state, as the president, with so much power. That's a man of integrity. He did that because he's a man of integrity. I remember his statement he made when he said the blood of any Nigerian is not worth his presidential ambition. That's a system that's a statement that we go, that touches the blood and every meaningful Nigerian. The statement will be resonating in the life of most Nigerians for the next 100 years. It's a statement that is written on gold. A sitting head of state with so much powers to say his presidential ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. No, it is not a Nigerian thing. Instead, what we have is the sitting head of state. He controls the police, he controls the army. So what he wants to do is to release the army and the police to go to the streets and kill and bring every situation to be calm. He would have done that. He has the power to do so. He was the commander-in-chief. But that's a man of integrity. That's why till tomorrow we still respect him so much in this part of our world. He didn't act as a normal Nigerian. Nigerians don't resign. Nigerians don't do so on their own. As long as where they benefit from, where they make money from, where they will continue to enjoy presidential favor from, they will not leave. Even if half of Nigerians is killed, Nigerians are killed, half of Nigerians are killed. The president will want to continue to remain in office because he's not remaining there for the citizens. He's remaining there for his own benefit, for the power. Look at what is happening in Cameroon. Look at what's happening in Uganda. The president of Cameroon is over 90, if I'm not mistaken. He cannot even walk where they carry him to walk. He's still the president. There's something wrong with the black man. And I begin to wonder, it's just that an experiment was carried out some years ago where they brought out the brain of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is one of the greatest scientists that ever lived on Earth. They brought out his brain and they brought out the brain of a dullard, and they found out that it's the same thing. One would have wondered if some people are given a different brain from the other. But there's no difference between the brain of the black man and the brain of the white man. No difference. God is in His mercy, create everything alike. So it's the choice that we make. Africans always make choice in line with what they will benefit monetarily. It's all about money. Somebody contests election. He didn't contest because he want to help the people. He contests because he want to loot the treasury. In Nigeria, we see politics is seen as a means of making money. The local government election will be coming up in Lagos any moment beginning from the 12th or so. And so the whole thing is about the money. What are we going to benefit? That's the consciousness of people. People will ask you, what are you benefiting? And it's not just in politics. In Nigeria, when you are doing anything, the first question they ask you is, what do you benefit from it? What do you gain from it? Like BHF Foundation is a youth organization that has been battling the issue of drug and cultism for some time. On the 5th of August, we're having a program at number 4 and 6, Ojodo Abiodu Road, very close to Just Right. We're using Star Diamond Event Center. So the program is an anti-drug program, anti-cult program that will start from 10 to 3, where we'll be discussing with the youths and also have interactive sessions with the youths. They are free to ask questions and the rest, questions regarding drug, questions regarding cults, questions regarding cybercrime. So people will always ask you, what do you benefit from it? And it's a sad situation. If we continue like that in Nigeria, we're not going to move forward. We must begin to change the narrative. We should be able to ask, what do you want to do for Nigeria? Nigeria is an intensive care unit. So our mentality is that what are we willing to contribute as Nigerians, not what do you want to benefit from it. What are we willing to contribute as Nigerians to be able to build up a society that our children will enjoy? Because we pray that we'll see a better Nigeria. That's what we are fighting for, we that are adults. So that's why we take it upon ourselves to see how we can prepare the youth for the next generation. So the mistakes we make, some of them will not make. We're involved in cult activities, we're involved in drugs and the rest. But we want the next generation not to get involved in these things, because there are consequences. There are those who are involved in massive intake of alcohol. What they don't understand is their consequences. I know quite a number of people who are dead now from the consequence of alcohol. When they were younger, it is morning till night is alcohol. But what they don't know is that these chemicals, at the end of the day, will settle in their body. And when they are in the 50s, going to their 60s, the consequences of those massive alcohol they will be taking, the effect will begin to show. So that's why we try to tell them now that don't do this. If you want to see a better future, if you want to enjoy your 50s and your 60s, be careful of the level of alcohol you drink. It has consequences on your body system. It destroys your body system. That's why we want to tell them. We want to tell them to be very careful of fraud, cybercrime, of cultism. We have quite a number of people who are dead now from the effect of cultism because they got themselves involved in cult activities. We try to tell them that all secret cults are evil organizations and there's nothing you benefit from. It's a wonderful conference. For those who are around Lagos, around Keja, Ogba, Ojodu, they are all invited to this conference. It's a major anti-drug, anti-cult conference. The first major anti-drug, anti-cult, anti-fraud conference that we are holding. BHF, in conjunction with the Lascadia, Lagos State Kick Against Drug. They are the ones that are holding it. It's a joint in conjunction with them, trying to see how we can help the youth for a better tomorrow. Because we see in Nigeria now where drug has taken over. And the job of fighting drugs should not be left for NDLA alone. NDLA have their part to play, but Nigerians also have their part to play. And so we are calling on people, the churches, the monks, and the rest to get involved in the campaign against drugs. We mentioned in the church because drugs has no barrier. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim youth, we have seen Christian youths involved in drug. We have seen pastors' children involved in drug, imams' children involved in drugs. So it has nothing to do with your level of education, your enlightenment, your income, your religious standing. Drug has nothing to do with it. I've seen children of very rich people involved in drug. children of top politicians involved in drug. That's why we want to enjoin every Nigerian to get involved in drug. Because 40% of Nigerian youths are involved in drug at the moment. Some people say it is 60, but I try to be modest about it. A drug addict himself that we were trying to rehabilitate was the one that told me when we were talking, said, no, sir, it's not 40%. Over 60 to 70% of Nigerian youths are on drug. It's only those who have gone to bad stage now, or those who are caught. These are the ones we talk about because they are all involved. This guy is from a good home. But look at what drug has done to him. So we have quite a number of people who have been destroyed by the intake of drug. And so we are trying to declare a state of emergency on drugs in Nigeria. We'll begin to fight against it. And we recognize the fact that the government cannot do it alone. So we parents are also stakeholders involved in the battle against drug. Christian schools, going to a Christian school is not an immunity against drug. Because we see children from Christian schools who are involved in drugs. I've seen many of them involved. We run a youth organization. So we interact with the youth on a regular basis. We have youth organizations that are involved in drugs. So both the Christian youth and the Muslim youth, are all involved in drugs. It has nothing to do with religion, as I said before. That's why we must put our hands together to say we must kick against drug. We'll stop against it. We support what Laskada is doing. We support it. BHF Foundation is in full support of what Laskada is doing. Lagos State Kick Against Drug, we're in full support. Because I can tell you that there are consequences. If it is not handled now, we are going to have a generation of youths who are badly involved in drugs. Imagine a situation where half of the members of the National Assembly are drug addicts. State Assembly are drug addicts. Half of your cabinets are drug addicts. That's where we are going to now. Because by the time you get to your 50s, your 60s, you're approaching your 70s, let me say 70s, you'll find out that there's very little you can do anymore. That's why the Holy Book says, we must do the work of him that sent us while it is day. Because the night cometh when no man can walk. It's not as if the man doesn't want to walk, but he can't walk. When you're in your 70s and your 80s, there's nothing you can do again. You're only just to be watching. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. There are places you cannot go. You can't be holding conference from place to place when you are 80. You can't. You can't. There are places where you can't walk long distance, you can't trek, you can't do this. So it's a battle that we intend to see that we win for the sake of Nigeria, for the sake of the world. And that's why we set up this program also, and we're enjoying people to please subscribe to BHF Movie on YouTube. Subscribe to this YouTube channel because we have our movies in this channel. We also have youth programs we will discuss. We will help the youths because we are talking of things that we're involved in, and so we know how to come out of it. So the battle against secret cults, the battle against drug is ongoing. I mean, I received a call about a week or 2 weeks ago of my close friend who stays outside this country. As a matter of fact, he stays abroad, stays in the United States of America, and he was telling me of how the secret courts are holding meeting and they're having a program right there in the US. So you have these court groups having big organizations around the world. It's a major issue. And the advice I want to give, if it is not handled now, it's going to get out of hand. You might say, oh, my child is not a cultist. Yes, but the person is going to marry to. Do you know who the person is? We have female court group. Some time ago, a lady came to meet me. She told me she's a member of the Amazon. Amazon is a female court group. While she was in school, she was a member of the female court group. So we have a lot of female court group now, a lot of them. And we see the crisis that is going on in Nigeria regarding courts. Look at those states and other states. And so that's why it's so important that we continue to please subscribe to this channel, as I said, because we are dealing on issues that has to do with the youth. It's a youth channel, both in our movies, in shooting, Please subscribe, share, comment, and also give us a thumb so we can be able to know that you are following us. We want comments, so something that will encourage the BHF Youth Organization to continue what they are doing. It shows that people are following and people are commenting. We want to thank those who are commenting. We see those who are commenting now, giving us a thumb here, liking the program. We appreciate it. We want to see it will encourage the BHF Youth Foundation to keep going, doing what they are doing when you subscribe. Because by subscribing, it shows that you are interested in what we are doing. The BHF Youth Foundation is not a Christian organization, it's not a Muslim organization, it's not a religious organization. It's a youth organization with the full intent of seeing how we can be able to get our youth restored back to normalcy. Because the days are evil, the times are dangerous. The social media has made it worse. The crisis now is made worse by the social media. It is easy and easier now for evil to be transmitted from one nation to the other through social media. Some time ago, I met a young man who said he killed his mother. He used his mother for rituals. A young man. I sat with him. We were discussing. The guy was around 23 years old, a student of University of Lagos then. And he told me, yes, I just want God to forgive him. He used his mother for rituals. Sad. It's pathetic. It's unfortunate. But that's the society we are in now, a society where people worship money. And that's one of the biggest problems we have in Nigeria, the love of money. You just win an election as a local government chairman, you win an election as a councillor. They will give you chieftaincy title in your village. Your religious center, they will give you position in the church, in the mosque, you have position just because you win an election. And why are they doing that? They're doing that because they expect you to steal and give to them. So they worship money is like a god that they worship, especially in Nigeria. In the world, but Nigeria is worse. The love of money has caused so much evil, and the youth right now are diving into it. The other day, we heard a story of a 14-year-old man that took his father to be used as rituals. 14 years old. We also watched on TV, I think AIT Benin some time ago, of a 21-year-old boy that killed his mother for money rituals and slept with her corpse, because that's what the ritual, the herbalist told him. He killed the mother, slept with the corpse. 21-year-old boy. Money, rituals, money. We also saw the guy that the case is still on. I pray that the case should be rounded up immediately, of a young student, female student of 300 levels, Lagos State University, LASU, that went to visit her boyfriend in Ogun State. And the boyfriend, with the instruction of he's a religious leader, white garment religious leader, killed this girl, cut off her 2 breasts, and used it to prepare meal. They've been arrested anyway. The case has been on for almost a year or 2 years now. And such cases should be rounded up on time so that justice will be dispensed. As there's a saying that says, justice delayed, justice denied. Some people say, Dave, what are you saying? Are you supporting death? I support death penalty. You have no reason to be alive if you don't have value for human life. I don't see any reason why you should be alive when you kill somebody. You should be killed. It's a straightforward issue. If you killed, you should be killed, because those that live by the sword will definitely die by the sword. There are consequences. It is time that people know that there are consequences. We must begin to step our foot down, making the youth know that there are consequences for every action that you take. It doesn't matter who your father or your mother is. Because when justice is not quickly dispensed, the heart of men is set to do evil. We must show that nobody is above the law. It doesn't matter the son of whom you belong to. It doesn't matter who your father or your mother is. When you break the law, you serve the time. You must be punished when you break the law. There are consequences. There's consequences. So please, we want to continue to advise us on this program that life is a process. For the young men, the young boys listening to me across the world, that life is a process. Follow the process. if you try to pass through the wrong channel, there are consequences of passing through the wrong channel. If you want to jump the queue, you will jump into a pit. If you want to fast forward your life, okay, the boy of 14 years that took his father for ritual, 14 years old boy, what does he want to use the money to do? In a country like Nigeria, where all our system worship money, not all the security agents, not all members of the security agency, we have some bad eggs among the security agency who just worship money. You see a boy of 25 years old, a boy of 20 years old that has a car that is worth 30 million. What does he do? Check out. Probably he does YouTube content. It's possible. He's playing football somewhere. It's possible. So find out. There's nothing wrong with it. You investigate his wealth. And if he's a young boy of 14 years, of course, check out. What does he do? How does he make it? The process is as important as the product. Because when you focus on the product and not the process, you encourage more evil to take place. So you check out the process. How did he make his money? Before you begin to give him chief testing title in your village, begin to give him position as a deacon and imam, is this. Before you begin to worship him, you find out what does he do? How did he make the money? I used to have a friend some time ago that is late now. I remember when he bought expensive cars and expensive things and took to his mother and his parents in Enugu. The father refused to take it. The father said, I don't want that car. What are you doing? You just finished from law school. Not up to a year, you finished from law school. You're acquiring so much wealth, buying this, buying that. He said, I don't want. He rejected it. The guy is dead now, but the father rejected it because the father has seen the end from the beginning. He tried to make the boy to understand that you will not end well if you continue on this line. You cannot get to your destination if you're on the wrong road. It doesn't matter the speed. Once you're on the wrong road, you will never get to your destination. It's just a matter of time. Even if the police, security agencies, the army leave you, you will not get it. It's just like somebody that is going to Benin. Benin is in Edo State in Nigeria, and we also have Benin Republic, of which Cotonou is the capital. So if somebody says, please, you should get to Benin, and you didn't hear well, you decide to face Benin Republic around Cotonou, instead of going to Benin, Edo State, you will not get to it's the same spelling, but you will not get to your destination. There's no use running while you're on the wrong road. So people are asking, why is it that youths are just dying carelessly? See young boys, young girls of 20, of 30, of 40, dying carelessly. Because they've done some of the things, some of them, not all, have done some of the things they're not supposed to do. Some of people, they don't even value their life, that they've even used their life for money rituals. There are some people that have even used their own life for rituals. What a sad situation. The life that God gave to them with a purpose to live on earth, they're not interested in it. They exchange their life for money. We keep hearing of ritualists, people running up, and every day on social media, you see people getting mental because they've used girls, they use boys for rituals. And I also want to encourage the young people, the girls and the rest, be very careful. Because that's what these Yahoo boys do. They use girls for rituals. When somebody is taking you to Mr. Biggs, is taking you to this, taking you this to eat, you sit in the front of the car, going to buy shawarma, you don't know that you are the source of the money. It's just a matter of time. You are the one they want to use for the money. We have so many situations now of girls who have run mental because their boyfriends have used them for rituals to make money. They won't kill her, but they'll grow mental until she dies. She become unproductive, completely useless, because they've used their life and their destinies for money. It's so much now in Nigeria. People should be dealt with. I want to also say our judicial system, our police, security system, judiciary, should please come hard on these fraudsters. People should be punished. A situation where you focus on collecting the money and just keep quiet because you don't want to say anything, the guy has bribed you with money. No. There should be consequences. Because this madness get to stop. This madness of fraud, of rituals, of using people for money, get to stop. There must be consequences. Hard consequences. It doesn't matter whose father is, who his father is. It doesn't matter. Even if his father is the chief judge, he should be punished. Those involved in Yahoo, using human beings for fraud, or rituals, kidnapping. I saw a program on TV the other day of a young girl, and she said how she entered one chance. They took all her money, forced her, they moved with POS. You told her to use her POS to transfer money. So there was interviewing her on TV. I watched her. And after they've collected all the money that she has, the sales, and funny enough, these are not her money. This young girl is just doing business. The money she was able to save for her business. They took everything. And they threw her out of a moving vehicle. As that when she was talking on TV, she was moving with crutches. These are cases that must be investigated and people punished. It's not a matter of the police or security agents collecting money from the people that do. No. I remember some time ago, I was in one of the stations where a lady paid a house rent to the guy that was behaving as an agent, not knowing that it's just fraudsters. And I heard somebody there said, "Oh, the one you have been collecting since you've not given us, thank God they catch you." I said, this statement cannot come from you now. You are supposed to be a custodian of the law. Who makes such statements? People should be punished. There should be consequences. Nigeria should be a nation where there are consequences for crime. We should not begin to create the impression that once you have money, you can be free from every crime. No. Please, we want to build up a healthy nation. And once again, I want to advise you to subscribe on BHF Movies on YouTube, this YouTube channel. Please subscribe BHF Movie on YouTube. We'll continue to give good counsel to our youth and to help them to navigate life so that they can be able to end well. To make them understand that there are consequences for every action that you take. We know a lot of people that were involved, as I said, in massive alcohol those days. Most of them are dead now. They are my very good friend. Massive alcohol. And I thank God that on time, I just kind of pull out of it. Because those who are manufacturing beer and the rest, they won't tell you that there are consequences for drinking beer. Serious consequences. So I'm saying it now. There are consequences. You're a young teenager of 14, 15, 16. You begin to drink beer while you are 15. You drink it by the time you get to your 50s. You've accumulated so much chemical in your body that it finally destroys your body. Why do you use your money to buy something that will destroy your body? Why don't you make up your mind that you want to fulfill the destiny for which God created you for? Because you are here on a purpose, as an assignment. Everybody will live one day, that's for sure. It's not a prayer point. It's just a matter of fulfilling the purpose for which you were brought. Doesn't matter how spiritual you are. We have people who use those days where they use money, they do medicine, put it in a pot or somewhere, put it so that they will not die. They have people 90, 100, 120. They are dead, but they are living, but they are dead because they say they do medicine. Those people, they will sit there. They will sit there. It's just a matter of time. So the issue is not the issue of death. The issue is, have you fulfilled the purpose for which you were brought? So anything you are doing in life, you must know that there is an exit. As long as there is an entry, there is an exit. And when your exit time comes, will you be able to beat up your chest and say, I have done the purpose for which I have done, which I was created? I've never seen any Yahoo boy that ends well. What they call Yahoo now is what they call guy those days. In the 90s, we have them. They don't end well. Those who were reigning in the 90s that were involved in guy, then most of them are dead now, the big boys. Even the ones that are alive now are like dead. Since we are on social media, I won't begin to call names and the rest is not right. But I know them personally. I know them plenty. You know, they were the celebrities and the big boys of the 90s involved in guy, making so much money in guy. Some even unknowingly got themselves involved in one form of ritual medicine or the other because they want to collect money. Now that they are in the 50s, in the 60s, in their 70s, they are alive, but they are like those that are dead. Because there are consequences. It's just a matter of time. You will reap what you sow. You can postpone the day of the harvest, but you will harvest it one day. You will harvest it. So I will conclude by saying, the fruit you don't want to harvest tomorrow, don't plant the seed today. Please, I want to say that again. A young man, a teenager, you have opportunity to plant a good seed that you want to harvest tomorrow. So I will advise and I will encourage you as a young man that the fruit you don't want to harvest tomorrow, don't plant the seed today. Don't. I thank God for prayers. Prayers is powerful. But always remember there are consequences. Yes, God can forgive you of it, but the consequences is there. David slept with Bathsheba and killed Uriah the husband. He came crying to God, and God forgave him. But God told him that there are consequences. The sword will not depart from your family. This is what you did to Uriah. That sword will not depart from your family. So for those people who are saying, I will continue to do it and then later I will give my life to Christ, that's wonderful. Yes, God will always forgive you, but always remember that there are consequences. And in most times, the consequences, the harvest, you reap. Saul, who later became Paul, was busy killing people, killing people, tormenting them. He had an encounter with God. God forgave him. But that's how they were beating him. They beat him until they cut off his head. It is how the world is run. God said, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest time will not cease. What are you sowing now? Be careful of it. Because a time will come where you will reap the harvest of what you sow. So I just want to tell you today as a young man, you have the opportunity, if you are young, to begin to sow positive seeds. And when you are getting advanced, begin to sow. Yes, while you are growing up, you sow negative seeds. Begin to try as much as possible to see how you can sow positive seeds. Positive seed. So that God will have mercy on you. God will have mercy on you. We have seen Nigerian politicians, the ones that are old now, how are they? When they were young, when they were in the 40s, in their 50s, in their early 60s, in their 60s, they were busy stealing money as governors, stealing as this. By the time they get to 80, one issue or the other. I begin to wonder how the money they stole, how is their life like this? Because there are consequences. Consequences that cannot be aborted. Consequences that prayer cannot stop. You will definitely reap what you sow. And the good thing about life is that it is easier to uproot a seed than to uproot a tree. Before what you sow now becomes a tree, please uproot it. Because you can uproot a tree. You can uproot a seed easier than you can uproot a tree. Sow the right seed so you can reap the right harvest. Don't think you have all the time in the world. Few days ago, I was 15, 16, 17. Few days ago. Before you know what is happening, you are in your 50s. It moves, it works so fast like magic. You sleep and you wake up, you say, I'm in my 50s. What? Wow. Before you know that is happening, you are in your 60s. Oh, you are in your 70s. Oh, you are in your 80s. Then you are gradually moving towards your departure lounge. You are in your 90s. That's how the world is created. I just want to remind you that that's how the world is made. You are going to get old one day. It has nothing to do with your prayer or your religiosity. Whether you're a religious person or not, one day you will get old. One day you will depart. What are you going to say you have left behind? What have you done to be able to add value in the world that you have met? Did you add value to this world, or you just came to this world to make it worse? Oh, yes, Adam sinned, and when you came, you add your own to it to make it worse. Are you adding value to humanity? We are destroying humanity. I want to remind you again of our youth conference, BHF Movies, BHF Foundation Youth Conference that is coming on 5th of August. It's a conference in conjunction with the Lagos State Kick Against Drug. It's a conference that is against drug activities. Because the Lagos State government is very, very much interested in seeing how the issue of drugs and cultism can be eradicated. That's why we have a special department called Lascadia, which aim it is to come against all forms of drugs, because they have the foresight of trying to see how we can secure a better future and a better nation. So support Lascadia in whatever you're doing. And also pray that the youth will come out, because we want to see a better tomorrow. Thank you very much. Until we meet again tomorrow, I want to say, be careful of what you sow, because you will reap what you sow. Thank you very much.